Your cab driver.
I'll send you a picture of one of them.
I should have taped this from MSNBC today. Did you hear? Well, you didn't even read your email today, so you probably haven't been watching MSNBC.
You sent it 3 a.m. I'm not being rude here. I'm getting a picture of the cab driver. That's relevant to the discussion, isn't it?
Well, I should have done this for MSNBC today because you may not have heard the Democrats are inviting Muslims to the State of the Union address just to show Donald Trump. So one of them was standing with Debbie Wasserman Schultz today being interviewed. And Gavin, I swear it was your cab driver. He had a thick accent, and 6 times he used the phrase, "our founders." Wait, whose founders? What?
And Canadians can't even use that term.
And apparently the country was built by, well, our founders, who were Christian, Jewish, and Muslim.
What?
Yes, I heard that on MSNBC today, Gavin, in a very thick accent, just like your cab driver.
That's amazing.
And the Democratic Party is making a point of bringing all Muslims to Congress.
Well, they really are shamelessly going back over history and making Ben Franklin black and making slaves go up to the 1960s.
Apparently he was a Muslim.
That is infuriating. I mean, even
They weren't even Catholic. There was only one Catholic signer of the Declaration of Independence.
Right. Well, they were Protestant, but they're also sort of deists in a sense. They were kind of loose.
That's liberal exaggeration. There were a couple and they weren't. Okay, Thomas Jefferson was a very flowery writer. He wasn't the brains of the operation. And yeah, a few of them were quirky, but no, they were Protestants. That's why King George called it that Presbyterian War.
Are you so anti-Catholic because you're rejecting your father's values? It's all about some sort of...
No, my father is a perfect example of what America has done for the Catholics. As I describe in that magnificent book, Catholics weren't really accepted in American society because they were beholden to a foreign power, the Pope. It wasn't until Catholics in America became American Catholics and less Roman Catholics that they were fully accepted into American society. And not only my father, but Joe McCarthy. It occurs to me, yeah, this is actually true. There isn't so much, constantly praying to the saints, going to Mass every day, the whole communion thing. Joe McCarthy, I think I quoted in Treason, saying...
Pull up Treason.
He was a Catholic, but not a candle-lighting Catholic.
Ah.
So that's how the Catholics became more... And they basically... And by the way, to this day, it's paid off. Catholics, I think may be one of the highest earning groups in America.
Oh, really?
But part of the reason Catholicism holds countries back, say the entire, Latin American continents, this isn't my theory. It's been studied and written about a lot. Why are some countries successful? Some aren't successful. The 2 factors that these various Harvard and UCLA researchers found that led to the most honest, least corrupt, most productive countries, 2 things: Protestantism and years of British rule.
Really? Well, that just sounds like a fancy way of saying white?
No, because there are a lot of look at Ireland. Ireland is a perfect example, as you know from Peter Brimelow. Apparently, the Irish, the Scottish, and the British are genetically identical.
Yes.
And Ireland is not known for its booming economy. What's the difference? They're Catholic. You could say the same thing with Germany and Austria and various other countries. And anyway, having noticed this, then the Harvard professors go back, and it's not just Huntington, it's a lot of younger fellows since then, went back and tried to figure out why that was. And it seems foreign to an American, and especially an American who had one Catholic grandparent, like me, because they were not the candle-lighting Catholics. But you see it with the Latin American politicians. You see it with this Pope, this idea that being poor is a sign of virtue.
Right. That's the clincher right there.
American Catholics don't think that.
No.
No, look at the Monahan brothers, Domino's Pizza. They're these huge right-wing pro-lifers and also very wealthy. They're not embarrassed about having money. Being rich is a sign of evil. And also because Latin America was mostly conquered by Catholic countries, the Catholic Church would go in, it would own all the land. One of the things that made America so cool and great, and as de Tocqueville wrote, it's women so brave and strong, was that you had this whole frontier to conquer.
Right.
So, the Irish maids would land and say, this sucks being a maid on Park Avenue. I'm getting married and moving west and setting up my own household.
Right, right. Well, I was reading recently about birds in Eurasia and how it's such a horrible, tough climate with the Siberian winters and everything, that when they would come to North America, they would thrive because it's so much easier. And then you extrapolate, well, that's sort of the same with humans. The best stock ended up coming to North America, and all of a sudden, well, there's a breathable summer, the winter's not so bad, and now you can build crops and thrive. So it's possible we didn't kill the Indians because we're mean. We just thrived more because we're better.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, the way Indians lived, the entire continent could support about 800,000 people. Great.
Called agriculture, guys.
Love what you've done with the place.
But it really bred a sort of, like, it could be the reason the American Catholic is so hungry for money and so ambitious is because the wimps weren't ambitious enough to come down.
Or they went home when they couldn't make it. 30% of immigrants pre-1970 used to go home. That's how we ended up with the creme de la creme. Now they come here hoping for welfare and getting it.
Right. Yeah, it's depressing because the thing I love the most about America is that the poor vote GOP because, as Steinbeck put it, they see themselves as temporarily embarrassed millionaires who are going through a bit of a slump. But they'll soon invent a pet rock and make tons of money. Then you go to Britain, it's like, oh, I'm working class, I'll follow Man U. My dad's working class. My granddad grew up in this flat. You're like, that's pathetic.
Yeah.
You're in the same house your grandfather grew up in. And then if someone wants to move up, they go, well, you want to be middle class. Like it's a sellout. And you go, because I want more money? I don't know. I want to live longer. I don't want to get black lung.
These are the behaviors in the American ghetto. It really shows that it can transcend race because the British have done it to their white people. This is what a welfare state does.
Yeah, that's so true. And Thatcher liberated them from that. They'd say jobs went down after she came into office. Yeah, shitty, stupid jobs went down. Government jobs, real jobs. She created a middle class. She broke Britain out of that mold that a lot of them still have and made them more American. And now we're killing that with these shitty immigrants who, I mean, I see this woman with a large pole and two enormous clear contractor bags full of cans. And I think of the $10,000 I spent on immigration lawyers, the H-1 visas, moving up to my green card. I brought a dozen jobs, and it was torture paying so much money to lawyers and so much work. And I finally got my green card after 10 years. And then I just look at these people, I think, how did you get here? What was your pitch at Ellis Island? I'm going to pick up tons of cans? Pull up that cab driver, Rat. This guy smelled so bad that I had to wind the window down. And that was his...
Have you heard of Uber?
Well, it was coming from the airport.
I don't think we can do that yet.
Yeah.
I just landed yesterday. I was wondering that because it's only because of Uber that I discovered it's possible for cabs not to smell like curried chicken. It's possible for them to know that even streets go east and odd streets go west. It's really not that hard to figure out Manhattan. 57th comes after 56th Street. It's a really easy island, and they can't figure it out after 20 years.
Oh, this guy couldn't figure out his GPS. It was just going, it was still set to the airport. So it was like, recalculating. And I go, can you turn this off? As he's pumping the gas, and I go, why are you pumping the gas? He goes, it's a bad habit. And then his breath and his BO combined was killing me. He fucked up our bags. They were falling out. I mean, everything that could go wrong. He's in the fast lane, getting past in the slow lane. He's in the middle of the lane. People are driving by looking at us like this. And I'm sort of, I'm sorry. So I finally got there and I said, this was the worst cab ride I've ever had, and I've had some doozies. Your breath and your body odor.
Oh, I'm so glad
making those two separate things almost made me throw up.
Yeah.
You pump the gas, you're in the wrong lane, you had no idea where you were going, you drive too fast, not in the lane. That's 7 things now. And then I did something, this is really important.
Please don't blow up Macy's.
That's what everyone says when I tell the story. They go, he's going to blow up your building. I didn't say, so fuck you. Because that's an American insult. The way you insult them is you have to be multicultural.
Hit him with your shoe?
No, close, very close. I said, you smell like a goat. Which doesn't have a lot of resonance here. But to him, he just, like all their insults are like, your uncle is a donkey. And rolls off our back, but to them, whoa, did it cut him to the quick. And he got so mad, he just goes, you smell like a goat.
That's like every argument I have with a liberal. They always just repeat what you just said to them.
Yeah.
Wait, that doesn't work.
Or they repeat what you said. Like you'll
That's
say,
what I mean.
Immigrants are a major problem. She just said immigrants are a major problem. And you go, yeah.
Yes.
One time someone was insulting me. I was on some message board and I was saying, you guys are anarchists, but you're you call yourselves anarchist socialists? That's a contradiction.
Right.
They'd send me Wikipedia pages. And I said, you need to read Pat Buchanan and fuck off. You don't know what you're talking about. And I gave up. And then I saw someone had said, where'd he go? And they go, oh, he's probably on a tour of America with Pat Buchanan shutting down the government, and it's sponsored by Nike. And I was like, that's an insult? That sounds like paradise.
Yeah, it does sound like paradise, doesn't it?
Wouldn't that be awesome? Pat and you roll up. Hello, everyone. This whole building, the Department of Energy, is shut down. You're all fired. Good luck. Maybe check Craigslist. Goodbye. Closed. Department of Education. Sorry, we're doing charter schools now. This entire building is shut down. Closed. Back in the Nike bus.